We are the most important things in our life. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we find time for the things that we actually enjoy, that we love doing. There are two important things to understand about time. The first is time is fixed. See, everyone gets 24 hours. No one is getting more than that. And within that 24 hours, we have to work, take care of our family, personal hygiene, our hobbies, health, and so much more. Everything has to be fitted inside these 24 hours. Yet, so many people in the world get so much more done in this 24 hours, and some people just struggle. The second thing about time is that you're always in control of your time. See, like I'm preparing this video right now. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to spend my time right now. So if someone is telling that they don't have time to do something else, then that's absolutely untrue. So we are always in control of our time. Firstly, time is fixed. And secondly, we are always in control of our time. Hi everyone, I'm Shagun Agarwal, avid book reader. And in this video, I've come up with 7 time management techniques through which you can find time for everything that you love and also live a more balanced, stress-free life. The first time management technique is the daily planning session, which is coming from the book Your Time, Your Way by Carl Pullein. This book says that before you go to sleep or early in the morning, just see how much time you're going to allocate to work and what are the tasks you have it in hand. And if any other task comes that's not a part of your daily schedule and which is not important, then push it to another day. So you don't have to stretch. You can plan out your day as per your daily schedule. Another thing is focus on your core work when you're doing the daily planning session. You might be doing 4 hours of email reply in a day, but that's not your core work. You're not getting paid to reply to emails. You're not getting paid to just attend to meetings. You get paid for your core work. So when you're doing the daily planning session, analyze and see how much time you are giving to your core work, because that is what is gonna take you ahead in your career. One pro tip when you're doing the daily planning session, take a pen and a paper instead of using a laptop or a gadget, because our brain works much more smartly, much more organized, and plus you will not even be distracted by notifications of emails on your desktop or system. If you have resonated with what I have told till now, consider subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot. The second time management technique is coming from the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. This book says that emails are a very big time waste in our life. A bad email reply would be, yes, I'm available for lunch. Let me know what works for you. A better reply would be, yes, I'm available for lunch. Here are the few time slots that I am available. If these don't work for you, please let me know what does. And if any of these work for you, then please set it up on my calendar. So here you're closing the email loop in the sense that the person will send the calendar invite and the conversation will be done. There will be less of back and forth, less wastage of time into something that is not your core work. Email reply is not your core work. Another pro suggestion from this book is slow down your email responses. See, humans are very good at imitating each other. So if you respond slowly, then the other person will also respond slowly and you will receive fewer emails, which means you will put less time on something which is unimportant or unproductive. And that way your emails will be more thoughtful. If you receive 10 emails, out of which 70% words are unimportant, you will just get 3 emails now, out of which everything is important. The third technique is tracking your chronotype from the book, The Power of When. See, we all have different chronotypes, which means our energy levels keep varying from the morning till the evening. And this varies from person to person. So like example, I am a morning person. I am at my highest energy during the morning hours and I'm very, very sluggish after lunch. So then I don't keep anything which requires deep work, which requires a lot of attention after lunch. Usually I read stories to my children, or I take a small nap, or I do some admin work where I'm delegating work to my employees. So that's how my afternoon goes. Where when I'm writing content, when I'm shooting, when I have to do some idea generation or talk to a very important client, that's when I do it in the morning. So according to my chronotype, what works for me, I'm designing my day according to that. And everyone can take advantage of this by understanding their own chronotype. And sleep is also extremely important. If you have not had a good sleep, then you will have a sluggish morning. Then that day your chronotype will not work you as it usually does. So then what you will do, you will take the day lightly and then you will recharge that night and then refresh again the next morning and start working. The fourth technique is setting your priorities right, and this is a very important time management technique coming from the book Find Your Balance. There's a very important saying which said, if everything is important, then nothing's important. And when you are doing your daily scheduling, which I talked about in the first point, you need to understand that all the tasks in your list cannot be 100% priority. So you have to make that list as per priority number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then start finishing your work as per that. And priorities is a lot about taking a step back than taking a step forward. To understand and analyze the things that you have to do the next day. Like suppose today, take for example, my number one priority is to shoot this video, because I need to send it to the editor. I have a schedule that has to go on YouTube. Everything is planned according to that. So if I don't shoot today, then there's a big problem for me. So this is a big number one priority, that irrespective if I don't do anything else, I have to check this off today from my to-do list. And when you're prioritizing, understand what your core work is. Like as a content creator, one of the core works is to shoot videos in front of the cameras. So I have to prioritize that. If you're a salesman, there's making sales calls or the client calls is your part of your core work. So you have to prioritize that. When setting priorities, understand the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule says that 20% of the effort is giving 80% of the results. So if you are well aware of those 20% of the task that is giving the 80% of the results, then that's where your priority should be there. One pro tip here, before going to sleep, just take a look at your to-do list and see the top 2 priorities. Even if you know that you are finding it difficult to solve it, or if you have a project that needs more attention and that you're not able to do, you will sleep with that problem, and your subconscious mind the entire night will process that information and will prepare you for an answer the next morning. The 5th technique is time blocking, coming from the block your time planner. So what this technique means is that I'm blocking certain amounts of time for my important task. This way I'm structuring my day so I can get more done with less distractions and in less time. So time blocking doesn't mean that you have to block every minute or every hour of the day. What you have to do is you have to find out your important task, and you have to find out that block of time in your day when you will be less distracted, when there are less people around, when you have more energy, and then make sure that that important task is done in that block of time. For example, for me, when my kids are at school from 11 to 1 p.m. is when I have less distractions. My kids are not there. I don't take up any emails at that time. I will not pick up anyone's phone. I will not have any home staff disturbing me with any questions. So that is my focus time, and most times I lock my study at that time, and then I'm only giving time to the most revenue generating task of mine, which is taking me forward in my career. The 6th is scheduling time for the internet, coming from the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. Just like you are scheduling time for your important task, you have to schedule time also for the internet. Couple of tips over here. Whatever time you have decided for the internet, make sure that all of your important tasks, whatever you decide, how much ever task you decide, is done before your internet time. That way you are completely sure and focused on your task before you can get to a distracted world, which is social media. And most importantly, this also motivates you to get your task done before you schedule time for entertainment on social media. So what you tell yourself, if I do these 4 tasks, then I will have 30 minutes of social media to myself. This way I'm rewarding myself with something that I enjoy, which is social media, after completing my task. And secondly, I will not feel guilty, because most of the time when we are browsing on social media, just browsing reels after reels after reels, we start feeling exhausted. And why? Because we have lost a lot of time, and then we start feeling guilty. The 7th and the last one is build a deep work environment, from the book Atomic Habits. So in this book, author James Clear says that we have to have environmental cues when we start to work. So suppose if you are going into deep work, like my deep work time is 11 to 1. So when I'm going to deep work, he's suggesting that we should light up a candle, or maybe write a note to myself that I'm not going to get distracted for the next 2 hours. So that is an environmental cue, something from your environment which is pushing you towards a more deep work mindset. Another thing from my personal story I would like to say is sometimes I don't feel like doing yoga. So what I do is I set up my environmental cue. I just put out my mat on the floor, and then I keep doing what I was doing. I don't do yoga. After 10-15 minutes of watching at the mat, and my brain is registering that there's an environmental cue like the mat on the floor, then after 10-15 minutes, I just change my clothes and automatically start to do yoga. That's how environmental cues work. The author also says that we should remove distraction triggers, maybe like a phone on the desk, maybe like too many copies, or maybe like pictures of some people on your desk, or maybe your to-do list, anything that can distract you. If you have too many emails, too many browsers open, then remove all of those distraction triggers from your environment. You have to design your environment in such that your brain plays with you in making sure that you get a deep work environment. So here we are with 7 time management techniques from the best-selling books that I have read on productivity. And as you know, I read a lot, and whenever I read, I make notes, and those notes I use to prepare my content. So if you have read any book, or if you want to know more about any book, do let me know. If you've tried any time management technique and you want to share your experiences, then please do let us know in the comment section.